Okay, let's dive into one of the most powerful ideas out there when it comes to getting good at something. We're going to unpack a framework for learning that you can apply to, well, literally anything, from playing an instrument to running a business.
So here's the question that really kicks this whole thing off. It's about a guy named Josh Waitzkin. You might know him from the movie Searching for Bobby Fischer. This kid was an 8-time national chess champion. But then, after all that, he completely switches gears and becomes a world champion in Tai Chi push hands. I mean, how does that even happen?
And boom, there's the answer right from the man himself. What he figured out was that his real superpower wasn't chess or martial arts. His true gift, the thing he was best at, was the underlying skill of learning itself. It's a meta skill he could point at any discipline he wanted.
So where do you even start? Well, it's not with some fancy technique. It all starts with your psychology. The absolute foundation for growth is how you think about intelligence and your own ability to get better. This is the bedrock for everything else.
This comes from the incredible work of researcher Carol Dweck. She basically identified these two completely different ways of seeing the world. On one side, you've got the fixed mindset, the idea that you're either born with it or you're not. On the other side is the growth mindset, the belief that you can build ability through effort. And the one you choose changes, well, it changes everything.
And here's the thing, that fixed mindset, it makes you really fragile. Think about it. If you believe your talent is a fixed thing, what happens when you fail? It feels like a judgment on who you are. So you're way more likely to just quit when things get tough. But with a growth mindset, a challenge is just an opportunity to learn. It makes you resilient. And that leads us to one of Waitzkin's most brilliant and kind of counterintuitive principles. If you want to get really, really good at something, you have to be willing to look bad. You have to be okay with losing in order to win.
This came straight from his martial arts teacher. Imagine a big, strong guy in a Tai Chi class. His first instinct is to just use his muscle to win. But to learn the actual technique, he has to let smaller, more skilled people toss him around. He has to temporarily check his ego at the door and invest in loss. That's how you unlearn your bad habits and actually master the art.
This idea is all about going deep instead of wide. You know, we live in a world that tells us to learn a million different things all at once. Waitzkin says, nope, do the opposite. Master one tiny thing so deeply that it becomes a part of you. When you truly get the smallest detail, you start to understand the whole system. So the path looks kind of like this. First, you break a skill down to its absolute tiniest piece. You practice just that one thing, over and over, until it's second nature, until it's in your bones. Then you start making it smaller, faster, more efficient, until it's so potent that it's almost invisible to someone who doesn't know what to look for. All right, so you've got the right mindset, you've got the practice method down, but what happens when the real world hits you? You know, with all its chaos and pressure. This next part is all about how to handle that.
You have to hear this story. It's just perfect. Waitzkin's 11 years old. He's in a huge national chess tournament, and he cannot get the Ghostbusters theme song out of his head. I mean, it's just hammering away in there. And the more he tried to push it away, the louder it got, totally wrecking his focus.
And then he has this incredible breakthrough. Instead of fighting the distraction, he just flows with it. He actually starts to use the rhythm of the song in his thought process. His chess calculations start moving to the beat, and he ends up playing this incredibly creative game. He literally turned the distraction into fuel. And that story just perfectly shows the difference between two states of concentration. There's the hard zone, where you're tense and fighting everything. It's brittle, like a dry twig. But then there's the soft zone, where you're relaxed, flexible, and you can flow with whatever's happening. The goal isn't to build a perfect silent bunker. It's to cultivate a soft zone that can thrive in the mess.
And look at this. This picture says it all. This is him at the World Championships. He's not just muscling his way through. He's in a state of flow, using his opponent's own energy against them. He's that blade of grass in a hurricane. Now, you might be thinking, great, but that state of flow just seems to happen by accident. Well, the cool part is it doesn't have to be random. You can actually build a system to get into the zone whenever you need to, and Waitzkin gives us a really practical way to do it. Here's how you build your own trigger. First, find something you already do where you feel naturally focused and relaxed. Next, create a short, simple ritual, like 4 or 5 steps, that you do right before that activity. Then you just do it every single day to build this powerful mind-body connection. And this is where the magic happens. You start to shrink the routine. Over time, that 20-minute ritual can be condensed down to a single breath that puts you in that exact same state of peak performance.
You know, when you boil it all down, this whole philosophy comes back to this one beautiful, ancient idea. The art of learning isn't about trying to control the crazy, thorny world around you, like trying to pave every road with leather. It's about developing the skills inside yourself to navigate that world with grace. It's about making your own sandals.
So I'll leave you with this to really think about. What's a challenge you're facing right now? A thorny road in your work, your life, whatever. How could you use these ideas, a growth mindset, investing in loss, building a trigger, to make some sandals for yourself instead of trying to pave the whole world?